Welcome to another episode of Tutor Consulting. In today's show, we're going to discuss what does it take to acquire partnerships in your company and how you could leverage partnerships to really scale your company. So basically, in order to secure partnerships, you're going to need a pitch deck. And in our agency, we always laugh when people ask, well, how much for a pitch deck? And they think that it's just images on a nice background with a business plan. But oftentimes, you need to have some sort of a brand identity to really speak to the vision of what your company is about. If you want investors and potential partners to be excited about what you're doing, you gotta have a cool factor. So a really key example that I'd love to illustrate is a company that we have partnered with called Imaginaire. Now, Imaginaire means to imagine, and it is originally meant to be a film studio company. And we were able to secure the domain, and it's great because it's just one name, and we actually got the .com. So yeah, you can definitely negotiate to get the .com if it's not available. So it's always good to have someone that's got those negotiation skills. And so once we got the name, we built a beautiful brand, and really what made this brand stand out was the media kit, because we used cinematic grade cameras, and it just looked super stunning. And because of this name and because of the overall package and the overall brand, we were able to secure partners with really heavy duty experience in the film industry. So because of that, we were really able to attract the top talent, and it was able to be taken seriously just because of the way that it looks and feels. So when you're creating a pitch deck, it's more than just putting some text on some colored background. If you have a media kit, if you have a brand, you have your typography figured out, basically it's going to be so much easier on the eyes to convey a message. So it's really important that you have some sort of a brand identity before we begin to put together that pitch deck. Of course, the contents of the pitch deck definitely matter. Having a senior marketing director on your team that can help you put together a business plan, because a lot of investors are going to want to know what's the return, what's the potential vision for this for the next 5 to 10 years. You really have to have those ideas flushed out. So in my experience, how I was able to gain partnerships was primarily with startups that didn't necessarily always have the capital to work with a branding agency, but they had a really good idea and they had a really good business plan. And they just needed the assets to basically have those investor conversations going. So my role in these conversations as brand director was to basically bridge the right people with the right resources in the company. So oftentimes if a startup is not able to work with an agency level rate, we simply work for equity. So that's a great way to build partnerships, to build different assets in your company by bringing in different partners that are willing to do the work for sweat equity. And this is also a great way to show investors that you have a really solid team. And last but not least, another thing you want to consider is having some grants secured, because yes, with some grants you do have to spend the money first, but if you can show investors that there's a way to get, up to 50, 60, or 80% of their money back guaranteed, that is always a bonus. So just to summarize this video, you definitely want to have some sort of a basic brand identity, typography, your logo, your colors. Having a media kit definitely never hurt. Putting together a business plan and securing the right partnerships by offering them equity in your company is a great way to get your startup going. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.